Hello everybody, how's it going today? So today is November the 14th. It's about 4 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Manitoba, Canada. I'd like to welcome my bear crew right next to me. This is Zeddy. He's part of the bear crew, guys. They represent when it's in the bear market, you know what I mean? This is Bear. He's 7 feet tall and about 50 pounds. They come together as a pair. That's what I learned. Everything they do together. Bathroom breaks, eating together, whatever. These two are connected to the hip. We don't ever leave each other, and we all like to wear the same color once in a while because that's what bear crews do, guys. All right. So today is a really awesome day. Every day on YouTube, or sorry, on Google, I type in the day, but 2018, a year ago, and then Philocon Crypto to see what I tweeted a year ago on the exact same day. And a year ago, I actually was with my ex-girlfriend in France, and I just made a funny tweet, retweeting it, saying that my life moves as fast as crypto, and in 1 year, in crypto, it's like 4 years of a normal person's life, right? Crypto is kind of compared to traditional markets where it just moves very fast, and I think that my life moves incredibly fast as well, and I think you guys know exactly what I mean. What I'm getting to is that a year ago I was a very different person, and so were you guys, and this is related to trading, with trading advice in general. And the skills that you had last year, they're very different than the skills you now have this year, which is obviously a lot more if you're putting effort into the game, right? And you just gotta realize, I don't know how to emphasize this further, but every time you make a mistake, I reference this tweet because I made a huge mistake, right? Everybody makes mistakes in life. There are a lot of things we wish we could have done differently, but we can't live our life with if only this, if only that, if I lived my life differently, or if I had done things differently. Right? You can't be negative about the trades that you took that you lost, because you have to reflect on it as something positive so you can grow and learn from it. Every trade that you lose, please always see it as a valuable learning experience that can add to your process of learning and developing as a trader. So every time I make a mistake in life or trading, I lose money in the market, or I give it back to the market rather, or sorry, I don't want my phone to vibrate in front of you guys because it's annoying when you hear on the microphone. Yeah, like whether it's relationships or trading or anything, reflect on it, especially wins as well. Focus on your strengths, see what you're doing right, develop your style based on what you know you are good at and what you like to do, especially as well, right? So regardless of what you may have done that was causing you to set yourself back a few steps, know that those are learning experiences that will let you take even more steps forward, right? And the people that we were yesterday or the year before, we always want to be a better version of those people before us, of who we were today. So just always try to be a better version of yourself, regardless of what you do in life and how that applies. I think that trading is a philosophy, is a life philosophy, and it's a lifestyle as well, because I think it's all about disciplining here, and we see things from different angles in the market. We look for confluent reasons. Like I'll share something somewhat personal, but actually no, I was just gonna say that I think that traders are one of the most analytical people in the world, and they have the ability to rationalize by looking at things from multiple perspectives, right? And that's what I love about trading. It has given me insight that I've never had before. I'm giving an analogy as an example. Maybe you guys are the same. Before, you used to always be bull. I'm not talking about bull as in the market. I'm talking about only wanting it to go up, right? And only one way. And you cannot see the bearish route whatsoever, or the other sides. You can't see, you got your risk to reward set up, right? And you just cannot evaluate other angles. And I think trading in general, when you're new, you're like that, right? You're very linear and tunnel vision. Then you start to develop a broad set of skills that can allow you to see things from multiple angles. And it's like reading 10 different newspapers and then forming a consensus by yourself, rather than only seeing things linearly from one publication and one source, which will be very biased, right? So that's what I love about trading. You gotta see it from the perspective of how to cover yourself, because everything that we do will have an impact on the ultimate goal of capitalizing in the market. So anyways, I just wanted to have a little speech that I gave myself 5 minutes only I told myself, and this is 5 now. So once again, welcome to this technical analysis. Today, for the mid-afternoon, I gave a morning market scan already. For those that are, excuse me, I gotta get some water. I'll be back. I'm just gonna pause the video. Alright, let's do this. This song is called Say Something by Great Big World. I'm going to play a lot of interesting songs that many people may not have heard. Some of you may have, but I love live versions, which are way better. So anyways, let's get into this. Right now, we're taking a look at the BTC dominance, okay? We noticed that it's actually dropped. Yesterday it was 66.1%. So it's actually dropped 0.2%. And that's fairly significant to me. We're dropping below the 66% range now. So alts are definitely having a run. We do a general snapshot of all the coins that are looking, or that we're looking at just in general. Bitcoin, clearly it's on the low side. There's got to be a bounce sometime soon. Otherwise, it could be catastrophic if we end up capitulating. And then now we're taking a look at Ethereum. It's definitely on the lower side right now. That's why when I took my notes here, let me actually show you guys the notes that I took today in general for the people that are not following me thoroughly. So my top 3 picks today are BTC, XRP, and ETH, right? Ethereum, it doesn't break down below the channel support. Very interesting. If BTC reaches support above 0.618 fib level, then ETH could yield a very juicy RR, okay? So ETH is on my mind. XRP is on the very low side as well. So it looks like it's going to bounce up soon. Bitcoin Cash, it's also known as BAB on Bitfinex. Looks like there's a potential right there as well, right? Litecoin's on the low side. Of course, BNC is on the high side. EOS is on the low side. And of course, the number 1 would be NEO right now. That's looking phenomenal. That's why we ended up shorting it for a beautiful 7 to 8% gain. Tezos has absolutely skyrocketed in the past few days, gaining about double digits so far. So we see exactly why, right? Bitcoin is losing its dominance. It's losing its dominance right now because it has done absolutely nothing except for drop $100, and that was enough to allow lots of alts to move as well, right? And we can see that these alts are getting at a really low point. People are very interested in accumulating at this point right now. So Bitcoin is still hovering between this specific range, which I'm not really too keen of right now, but I am very appreciative that it dropped about $100, which allowed these alts such as NEO to have 7-8% drops. So let's take a look at the 24-hour volume, and I can tell right away that we're behind from yesterday by about $1 billion, I'm guessing. Historical data, we're always going to go to it first. So now music was a little bit loud, my apologies. Right, yesterday, the day before, we're talking about 10, 11, and 12. We're at about $20 billion of volume, and then 17.5, and today we're actually starting to pick up again, because this is at the $19 billion range. And we confirm with the chart what day it was actually on and what time. Okay, was it before the drop or after? This is when the daily candle closes at 6 p.m. Okay, don't forget about daylight savings time, guys. That's really important. Okay, daylight savings time, 1 hour, like spring forward, fall back. So before it was 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now it is 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for the close. That's really important sometimes because really good traders, they time it on a candle close. You have seen it many times before where as soon as the candle's about to close, there's some capitulation because the bears are just wanting some ugly candle for momentum for the next day. And it's just beautiful how it can be sometimes. Okay, anyways, so here we're seeing about 19 billion, right? So let's confirm the volume there and what day it was on. Let's go to, for example, a 2-hour chart. So 6 o'clock, it ended up dropping. Right, here's where the candle, daily candle started. So we know that the volume was actually picked up after, okay? Yeah, it was picked up after, which is good. This song is Girl Like You by Maroon 5. So great, we've confirmed that the volume has now been on the downtrend. That is why, right, you think of the volume yesterday, the 13th to the 14th, and we were in a lull in a sideways market. That's why the volume was very low at 17.5. Okay, makes sense? So now on this day today, November the 14th, we see that the volume is now 19 billion because of that small capitulation that happened, right? Make sense? Okay, now what are we hoping for? This is my plan right now for Bitcoin. It's looking beautiful in my opinion, and I think that there could be a bounce very soon, and we might not even hit this 0.618 Fibonacci level that I'm very much so hoping that we hit. Okay, right here. So right here would be a beautiful target that I've been mentioning for a while now. The interim swing low positions here, or this specific support ranges. These used to be a resistance right here, right? This zone, that zone, in here. So we can easily say that we might find some sort of support right around this range, which would be beautiful. And it also coincides with the 0618 and the 065 Fibonacci level, which is at the golden pocket range. So now we know where the support ranges are, okay? Anywhere there was heavy activity, we can count on it. Okay, and not only that, guys, let's extend it even further back, okay? To this region right there, back in June, we can clearly see that it took a while for us to break out of it. Do you know why this region right here took a long time to break out of it? We'll use this specific price range between 83, 85 range. It took a while because of way back in June of 2018, or 2019, sorry. May, June, right over here. This was a period of about 8 days. Actually longer maybe, if I count it all the way through here. The sun's really bright right now in my eye. You guys don't even see me right on the left camera. That's how bright. I gotta close the blinds, guys. It's really crazy bright right now. Whew, that hurts my eyes. Thank you very much. I didn't want to pause the video and edit it again. That's a little bit better there. Okay, so this range right here was a really good support range, right? We agree? Or resistance. So now it'll act as a support. Alright, let's keep walking down. So now we know where the support ranges are, why it happened, and based on price action, it was very easy to discern. So yesterday, Bitcoin took a small fall, very tiny in my opinion, near the end of the evening, right here, from 87.63 to 84ish on Binance, okay? But take a look at how it actually impacted a lot of other coins and how that dropped. Like, if you just take a look at, for example, NEO, right? We're just talking about from last night when it started to drop about. This one dropped 7%. Just give you an example that Bitcoin can drop 2% sometimes, but other coins will actually end up dropping a factor of that 2% of Bitcoin and more. So this one multiplied by a factor of literally 3.5. So Bitcoin 2%. If NEO moves 7%, 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So that's what I mean by a factor, okay? It's kind of cool the way we can identify things like that sometimes, right? Alright, let's keep going. So right now, I cannot help but believe that we have almost found support already. And how do I believe this? Okay, first of all, let's go to the monthly. And we're going to walk down the line and just see how everything's looking. So monthly is not really showing much right now on Binance, okay? Because there's just not a lot of info. So let's just go to the weekly. On Bitfinex, it's been around, I think, a little bit longer. Way longer, actually. Okay, or the USDT, that is. So right now, we're looking at the weekly on Binance, and we can clearly see that the weekly was supported heavily by the 200 EMA. This is this next song is Ed Sheeran's Photograph in Glastonbury 2017 live concert. So this is a beautiful bullish pin bar that we got, right? See what I mean? Right? And then we bounce right off of the 55 EMA, which is acting as a very strong support. We have fallen below the 21 moving average right now. Now we go to the 3-day. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that, of course, because this has acted as a strong support thus far, we're now going to treat that as also a strong support if it does fall back down to the 55 EMA line. Don't get me wrong, a wick could poke below it, but if it doesn't, or if it does poke below and gets rejected, even better, because it shows that the bears have made an attempt, okay, to push it to the downside, but the bulls have defended it with the wick, and that's a very strong sign of defense psychologically that can roll the momentum over based on price action to the next week. So we see here on the 3-day, yesterday or 3 days ago, we closed below, for example, on the 9th to the 12th, we closed below the 55 EMA. And here we close, the 15th, that's tomorrow. Actually, that's today. This is going to close 2 consecutive 3 days in a row, which is equal to 6 days, which is almost equal to a week, closing below the 55 EMA, okay? But if you take a look at here, just something very simple, isn't it kind of funny how if you just look at it on the 3-day, you know, it can even look like a, actually on the 2-day, no, it actually, I couldn't even do that. I was going to say on the 3-day, this would just be an ABC, but clearly it's not. So let's go to a 2-day and see how this is looking. So notice the 3-day, we're going to reverse quickly. Notice right here that that is convexing. So I learned something from an amazing follower. Thank you for showing me. This is the definition of basically a concave shape, okay? Think of it like a cave. The opening to a cave entrance. Easily, right? And convex is basically just the opposite. Like that. Get what I'm saying? You can refer to, I'm very dyslexic sometimes, and yeah. So on the 2-day, what we see is, we see that it's actually really wanting to break back down to the negative side, okay? And these love to do things like that. I love the song, it's so cool. So here was what I'm talking about, okay? We're gonna get one crossover. You guys gotta allow me to be weird for at least 10 seconds in each video. So here is the first crossover, right? And then we come back down. And then the second crossover is the major point of interest that I always talk about. And that one could happen very soon. So you know what the significance of this breaking down to the 86, 8500 ranges is? Okay, I'll tell you guys the significance in a second. The significance is actually this. On the 30-minute chart, we're gonna respect, right? We're gonna respect that 8800 line that just could not be broken. It was very hard for us to break it around there. And it actually extends all the way to this region too, right? And if we go even further back, you know, we're talking about this particular region in May as well, right? That's the resistance, guys, okay? We are right there. It's acting as a support and a resistance. But I would say more as a resistance because, well, we fell below to the 8650 range, right? So now we look at all of these areas, like there, you know, like this, it's so congested. And then we go to a lower time frame, we can easily see why it was rejected the first few times when we're trying to break above the 8800 range, right? So the significance of that was that, yeah, we couldn't break it, so now we get a chance to drop lower, and hopefully we can find that Fibonacci 618 structure range. That would be beautiful if we still get lower there to there. But I gotta be honest, guys, that it's looking kind of scary. We literally just death crossed right here, okay? We death crossed on the 6-hour chart already. Okay, on the 10-hour, I like the 10-hour. The 10-hour is showing a doji candle. It's pretty beautiful, but the lack of volume is not that convicting to me. On the 8-hour, we get a fairly bearishly, it's a bullish candle, but bearish, more bearish than bullish because it's red. It's a hammer. On the 6-hour, we got nothing really, like I would even consider this as support right now based on price action. 5 hours looking pretty decent, so over the past 10 hours there, we found support for fairly relevant regions within $20 of each other of the wick. This is a nice candle right here. It's almost like an inverted hammer, but more like a doji on the 4-hour. Alright, so now I like the 4-hour. I'm going to check for RSI on it. Nope, doesn't match my criteria. Okay, there are 3 regions, okay? This is one region. 1, 2, Actually, should I use that one? Let's go for the lower one. 2. Right there. And this is my third region right here. 3. Okay. Let's do this for all of it. Now we can compare our size. This is a clearly a lower low, right? This is a lower low than that one. This is a lower low than that one. The price clearly just kept going down. If I move it just to connect even the wick ends, you'll see what I mean, okay? Watch. I'll connect just the wicks and we'll see that it angles to the downside. Right? So, you see what I mean? Oh, actually, no, this one is, okay, that's not a good relevant point to compare them. It has to be a lower low. So that is a lower one. And now, yeah, there we go. We're good. So now I've confirmed that these points right here are each lower lows, okay? Confirmed. Right? So just to prove it, one is right here, obviously. Next one is right here. Next one is right here. So H1's a lower low. Fair? Okay, now that we know that, we're gonna move the RSI. Oops. There we go. We're gonna move the RSI. And we're gonna compare to see exactly. Actually, let's go with this one. It's more stable to me. We're gonna compare the RSI to see if we keep getting a series of lower lows, or sorry, higher lows. If this happens, then we have confirmed a bullish divergence, and that would give us more confluent reasons to enter a trade. So this systematic approach of mine is pretty cool, I think. So here, no, 4 hours doesn't confirm it. 6 hours, very, very darn close. 10 hour, yeah, 10 hours definitely doing it about. Yeah, 10 hours actually looking amazing. It's the gaining strength, right? Oh, and then I look at it here and I say to myself, wow, the histogram looks beautiful. Is it possible for it to tick up soon? How do you look on the 12 hour? Probably too tight? I'm guessing too small? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's go to 6 hour. It's so close. Very, very close. 4 hour, very close again, right? Within 4 or 5 RSI. Oh, sorry if you couldn't see that. Here it's, you know, right there. No, this one's not really on the 2 hour. Definitely not. Wow, the 1 hour, the 2 hour definitely is it. 3 hour didn't, but man, this one's got a higher low, and this one's got a higher low as well, right? That's what I meant to say. Like, you gotta make sure you get a higher low than here, but make sure the prices are all lower lows, right? So the 2 hour is like bang on right now for confirming bullish divergence. Let's see what the 90-minute chart says, okay? That's a very important chart to me because it's halfway between the 1 hour chart and the 2 hour chart. And here we're getting a lower low here, right? But this one here is higher. So the 90-minute, not the fan of it. Let's go to 45-minute chart. Yeah, wow, 45-minute, 1 hour. So on the low time frames, we're actually finding bullish divergence right now across the board, which is pretty sick in my opinion. And what I like, actually, now let's compare this point right here. Okay, we're gonna talk about something called bullish divergence. Okay, we're gonna talk about bullish divergence. I'm gonna find it for you. All right, here's the tweet. We're gonna talk about something called hidden bullish divergence. Now, normal divergence is when we are looking for a series of a lower low on price, but we get a higher low on the RSI. Makes sense? Okay, that's looking to see on a downtrend if we are gaining strength to reverse to the upside. That is what normal bullish divergence is. So once again, we're looking for a lower low for the price, but a higher low for the RSI. And if so, that indicates that we're actually gaining strength, right, to go to the upside, okay? But hidden bullish divergence is different. Hidden bullish divergence refers to looking for a continuation through RSI. We're looking for basically a higher low, okay? We're looking for, first of all, for normal bullish divergence, you're comparing the lows. For hidden bullish divergence, you're also comparing the lows, but you're comparing it on the uptrend, okay? So you'll be looking at this point right there, okay? and also this point right there, the lows as well. But on an uptrend, it is to see if there is a continuation to the upside. Does that make sense? So we're trying to see if it will continue to go up, right? Do we have hidden bullish divergence to see if it's a continuation? I know I'm repeating it, but sometimes this stuff is very necessary for, say it many times, because this is a very difficult concept to grasp. So now what we do is we compare on our side the lows. What we're looking for is a lower low on the RSI, right? But a higher low on the price. So it's literally almost the opposite. It's very counterintuitive. So now a hidden bullish divergence, right? Where the next peak, let's just say this is wave 2 and that's wave 4. Wave 4 must have a way lower RSI than wave 2. If we get a lower RSI on, for example, that wave 4 there, than we do on wave 2, then that means that it's very likely to continue to the upside. Does that make sense? Let's give you a real life example right now. Okay, I gotta actually refresh this because sometimes you lose the price on the side. Do you guys like the color of the, like, look on the bottom right camera with me for a second? This is the kind of lighting that I actually see as well in my own home. I see all this purple, beautiful lighting that comes in because the sun, it sets right there in front of me. And I get the whole view of the forest and the river and everything here in front of me. It's kind of cool. I just thought I'd share that really quickly, that's all. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Alrighty, let me minimize this now, okay? Sorry about that for taking up your time. Hope it wasn't rude. So now let's talk about this hidden bullish divergence. First of all, since we love that 1 hour time frame where we were getting the bullish divergence, right, across the board, when we were comparing basically, actually, was it the 1 hour? Well, this thing still didn't load. That's very odd. I gotta do it again. This is my bear crew, guys, once again, right? Okay, let's get to this. Okay, so the hidden bullish type, you know what, forget about the price. I'm just looking at it, it's irritating me. So let's just compare, for example, where the uptrend began. Can we agree that the uptrend began there? Right, because it did, exactly, and then it ended here. Fair? Right there, okay? So right here, I would also say that we can view it like this as well, okay? If we take a look at here, compare this bottom right there to this bottom right there, which one has a lower RSI? The one that has a lower RSI is clearly this point right there, but this one is a higher low, right? It really is a higher low for now. So because the RSI is lower, I would consider this right here as hidden bullish divergence to continue to the upside. I know that's a very bold statement to be making right now. I gotta refresh this, gentlemen and ladies. Hang tight. Okay, here we go. So now I think that Bitcoin is really going to try to break back up to the 8,800 range. Right now, it almost seems scary, doesn't it? If you look at it on, for example, a 6-hour chart. Before, we were getting this type of support that I identified around the 8,700 ranges, and then we fell below it. So now what do? Do we just arbitrarily draw a bunch of random lines to see what fits for us? Yeah, that seems to be looking pretty good, so yes, I'm gonna do that. It wasn't rhetorical, guys. Right? Could this be making an ending fifth? Right? If it does make an ending fifth, whew, my gosh, is it gonna be just one of the most beautiful things ever. Wow, if this actually does make an ending fifth wave, diagonal, like you can find the fifth wave diagonal inside of the C structure and the fifth subwave, and sometimes in the C by itself, right? As even a zigzag. I mean, that's like, wow, you know, like, I'm not sure about you guys, but like, I'm thinking if this happens, it's gonna be such a juicy trade. Like, even if, you know, either that's gonna happen, in my opinion, or we're gonna fall below to the 8K regions, where we're gonna find some heavy support here. You're not just gonna break the support, guys. Look at all these particular regions. Right? You take a look at all of this right here, and clearly we're gonna probably hold there for a little bit. But right now, this just looks like such a juicy place to go long. So my idea is this, for me, not for you guys, but for me. Keep in mind that I'm just some degenerate technical analyst trader online, right? So don't ever trust me with your money or trust my advice. Always take everything with a grain of salt, because I'm just doing this for educational purposes. AKA, I don't want you guys to sue me. Really, you guys know that by now. Everything is your own risk, your money. I'm not here to tell you guys what to buy or sell, nor will I ever answer those questions, because it puts me in a weird spot legally. So I'm always going to talk about everything from my perspective only when I talk about trading. It is not advice in any way. So here, I'm assuming that it could get even right here to this retracement where we are already. And let's just say that we do find signs of bullish divergence, and then we end up going long on it, okay? Let's just say we go long out even after a small breakout with more confirmations. And I'm going to target by far the most conservative target. That would be 382 as always, on a breakout above that. And then now we're going to target a very conservative target of 382. And we're going to put our stop roughly at 2% there. And now we're targeting 382 conservative. And that's of this entire structure from up here to down there. And that's a very conservative one once again. And we're still yielding what? A 3.5% risk to reward right there about. 7.24% gain to 2% loss. If I was more aggressive, depending on how it went, I'd probably target this one right here for a top, because that's a 0.5 Fibonacci level. Also, it coincides with a bunch of these resistances over here that will most likely be met for at least 1 or 2 times before we break it. And realistically, if we end up getting to a very bullish market, guys, you guys know exactly where my prediction is going to be. My prediction is going to be about $11.4 thousand to $11.7 thousand. And how am I deriving this target? I'm deriving this target by assuming the absolute worst, that it's even going to get to $8,000, which is a 0.786 Fibonacci range. So now I take a range of roughly 1 to 1, okay? 1 to 1, assuming that wave 3 is longer than wave 1. So this is the minimum target, right? Of about 11,000, but of course it's going to exceed that. So that's why I would say anywhere between 11.4 to 11.7, which is kind of a middle ground range right here, just between those guys. And also, well, we're not going to be getting past this anytime soon, put it that way, 12K. There's a lot of resistance right now. So I think that these are very, very reasonable places to get, somewhere halfway between this point right there. And also it exceeds a 1 to 1 Fibonacci extension, which will then satisfy the rule that it is a bull rally. But realistically, we can even get to 1618. If we get to 1618, that would be actually 8K. Like, the worst would be 8K, okay, that we get to, and we're still bullish, and we actually end up holding right here on these lower ranges. Then we would get to even almost 13K over time. But let's say we end up retracing only at a very bullish level at the golden ratio, which is about the 8500 range. Well, a 1 to 1 extension is about 11.55 thousand, and a 1618 extension is 13.44. So we can clearly see that there's a lot of room for it to go, and this is looking like something that just wants to break to the upside. You don't just rally like that and then just collapse, right? It can happen, but there's going to be a lot of ups and downs and fractals in between here and there that can be broken up and dissected, and there will be a lot of volatility in between these bounces. So these are my thoughts, guys. Okay, my thoughts is that I'm glad that it fell. Consensus. We're building a consensus now, just to summarize. I'm glad that it dropped $100, because it made some coins like NEO drop 7%. That's a very significant amount. Move 2%, Bitcoin. Alts are going to move 7. Great. We've now officially rejected the 8800 range, which makes me believe that one of two things will happen. We're going to attempt again to get back up above 8,700 to contend 8,800, or we're just going to fall below here and do that wedge that I was referring to get directly into the golden pocket range, or the golden ratio range, which is above 8,400. One of the two things is going to happen. If we start hammering again at the 8,800, then a clear target would be about 9,100. Okay? 1,900 would be roughly the target. How am I deriving this right here? Or sorry, 1,900. Actually, no, it's way lower now. As we go sideways further, the target becomes lower. That's why now I'm going to say firmly that 8,800 is going to be a very hot target. If we get there, it's going to be a lot of resistance, and it's going to be, you know, like, let's, depending on how you draw this, okay? Let's do it on a better time frame. 45-minute, whatever. You know, it looks great on all of them. Just grabbing some of the wicks, right? Clearly now, this is going to be a hot region. You take a look at this resistance right here. Okay? And yeah, that's a resistance based on that line, the red one, and also this white one as well, that's sloped. So you can clearly see how 8,800 will remain a very strong resistance for now. We are talking about a time frame that has began since, it's not just the few weeks actually, like we're talking about a 19-day, 20-day resistance already, okay? So I don't think we're gonna get there. If we do, I'll be darned, right? If we do, we might get a chance to break out of it. Next target will be 9,100-ish for me. But I would prefer that we break down instead to, of course, the golden ratio range, because then it would make a much more viable play, in my opinion. So yeah, these are my thoughts right now for Bitcoin, right? So yeah, we're either going to break down to the golden ratio range, or we're going to try to contend at the 8,800 again. And I think we will get rejected at the 8,800 if that case actually happened. So anyways, these are my thoughts. I apologize if it was extremely long. I'll catch up with you guys later tonight for a market summary. Nothing has happened on my end today in terms of a trade, because I wasn't available for any coins that had a little bit of volatility, which was actually none today. Today, nothing much happened whatsoever. You know, like, we're talking Neo moved a few percentage, but I wasn't really available then as well. And a lot of coins are just moving with just a few small percentages on exchanges that I can short and long at the same time. So anyways, have yourselves a great night. Thank you very much for joining me. I apologize if it was extremely long, but there's always a lot of details in my thoughts. Bye now.